Your narcissist new supply is not better off than you. If you're new here, I share my personal experiences having suffered from narcissistic abuse in a variety of situations to help other people heal. When you get out of a narcissistically abusive relationship, whether it was your own choice or whether they made that choice for you, you may eventually find out that they are with someone new. A lot of times victims of narcissistic abuse are like, how can they be happy with someone else? They weren't happy with me. Maybe I am the problem. That's not the case. Remember when you got in that relationship with that exact same narcissist, you know you have to put up a facade to the outside world. Most people outside of the relationship do not understand that the relationship that you're in is toxic. So it can be easy to be tricked into thinking that the narcissist's next relationship is happy and healthy and loving. I promise that they are not treating the next person differently or better than you. There will always be that initial love bombing stage. That is the first stage of narcissistic abuse. So they might be getting some of that, but that's it. When I was with my narcissistic ex, who I was with for 6.5 years, the first 4 or 5 months were great. The next 6 years were a nightmare. And victims of narcissistic abuse look back to those love bombing moments and they're like, how do I get back to that? How can we make it nice again? And that is not the goal of the narcissist. The narcissist does not want things to be going well. The narcissist wants to control their victim. I remember when I left my narcissistic ex, a few months after I left, one of his ex-girlfriends prior to me reached out to me, found me on social media. We actually met up and went to coffee, and she was like, I don't even understand why you broke up from what I could perceive from a 30,000 foot view away from you. Y'all looked really happy. And I was like, no. Everything that you are talking about that was toxic and terrible about your relationship was probably actually worse in my relationship. I don't mean this as a competition or whatever. She was only with him for, I think, a year, maybe 2 years. I was with him for 6.5 years. And narcissistic abuse is additive. It just gets worse over time. Don't torture yourself by constantly looking and keeping up with your narcissist. You don't need to know about their future relationships. You have to remember what you would have been like in that situation if someone confronted you. The narcissist basically primes their victim to be their defender, to say that there is no abuse that is happening. Even if someone comes to you and says, I have been with that person and I have experienced the abuse, and they start telling you exactly the abuse that you're experiencing, they are likely going to say, that's just not happening with me. Sounds like that was a you problem. The narcissist trains their new supply that their previous exes were all crazy. It's like the telltale sign that you're with a narcissist is all of their exes are crazy. There is one person I've spoken to who was with my narcissist after I was with him. And she did tell me, she was like, I just want you to know that the way in which he spoke about you, and he was speaking about you thinking that what he was saying was a good and positive and healthy thing. She said, I could tell that by the way in which he was speaking about you, that you had been severely abused. And I hoped for you in that moment that you had found peace and happiness. Let your abuser tell on themselves. And look, if someone ever dates my narcissistic ex, whether it's before me or after me, and wants to reach out to me, hey, I'm here. Everyone has to come to their own understanding of their own situation in their own time.